Story time on what made me realize college was a scam. Now, if you're somebody who's going to or went to college for a degree, this video is not for you.
Oh, I got laid off yesterday. Feels so weird to even say that because this has never happened to me. I've never gotten fired from a job. I've never gotten laid off.
MBA, still unemployed. Like, this guy graduated from a top 10 MBA program, which is super, super impressive. Got a lot of interviews, just can't really seem to get anything. I mean, it seems like a lot of highly educated individuals are either can't find something or they find something and they get paid like really crappy wages. Like this guy getting paid 44 grand per year with an MBA. That's a little unacceptable right there. This guy says the job market is just awful. I mean, at this point, it's like a numbers game. You're just going to have to apply to hundreds, even thousands of jobs to even get one single interview. Like when the job market is this difficult, a lot of individuals are also simply giving up. Even getting a job at freaking McDonald's these days is a massive struggle. Check out some of these videos.
If this is not an indication of how bad the job market is right now, I don't know what is. I was on LinkedIn scrolling and just, looking at updates as one does. And I happened to come across this role that this company had posted. And in the description of what to expect and what their requirements were, they specifically said, do not expect this to be a 9 to 5. This is for people who want to work hard. That was the first thing I was like, can you not work hard in a 9 to 5? That was my first thought. The second thing they had in their list of requirements was, if you are looking for work-life balance, this job is not for you. I'm kind of torn about that response because, for one, at least they're honest. But for normal people who want to have a life beyond work and outside of work, I just thought it was crazy.
This is my first time being unemployed in 6 years, and wow, this is pretty nice. Other than the fact that I'm gonna run out of money soon, it's pretty nice. Like, I had time to make myself breakfast. I got ready this morning. I slept in. Whew, I could get used to this.
If you're currently in college and thinking about starting a business, please hear me out. With the current trends of AI taking over all of these different industries, it's easy to question if your degree is actually going to mean anything in the future. So if you want to hedge your bets, pay attention. The current trend is that AI is going to replace very low skill jobs. But the one type of business that's going to stay is home service businesses. AI cannot replace physical labor. And if you know how to hire people to do the physical labor and how to manage and grow a home service business, you could make a ton of money in the future. It's an untapped gem. A lot of people are saying start an AI company, start an online business, but the real money is going to be in the hands of people who know how to organize and orchestrate service businesses.
Unpopular opinion, but when I have kids, I will not encourage them to go to college. Unless you have a scholarship, you have to take out loans, and as soon as you come out of college, you're in all of this debt. You are 22, 23 years old with so much debt just because you wanted to get a degree, and these degrees these days don't mean anything, especially if you're trying to get a job in corporate. Because at the end of the day, these jobs want you to have experience. And it's like, well, duh, I don't have experience. I was in school for the past 4 years, but they don't care about that. You're not going to get the money that you deserve or the job that you deserve because they want you to have experience. So now you're taking a job just because you need work, and then you have to pay back all of this money for the degree. I am an advocate for going to trade schools. One, trade schools aren't that much. I mean, it still is expensive, but it's better than being in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars. And with trade school, you'll get a license for something instead of just a broad degree. You'll get a license, and then you'll also get certification. Certifications and having a license gets you way further than having a bachelor's degree. So unless you're trying to be a lawyer or a doctor, I don't think going to college really makes sense. I am going to encourage my kids to find a trade, like something in electrician or construction, or even like IT or HVAC. People that have those certifications, they become contractors, they start their own businesses, and even if they work for someone, they always have work, because those type of jobs are jobs that they just never go out of business. Like, you're always gonna need like an electrician or a plumber or an HVAC. Like, and those jobs, you make great money. So I will encourage my kids to do that, or I will encourage my kids to be a business owner. After high school, all of those 4 years or 5 years that you spend going to college, you can actually spend learning on how to invest, starting your own business, just learning financial literacy, because even in college, they don't teach you financial literacy, at least the college that I went to. I feel like if I never would have went to college and I just went straight to esthetician school after high school, I would have been way more successful. And I think it's so important to teach kids that it's not about going to college and getting a degree and working for someone. I feel like we need to start encouraging our kids that there's more things than working for someone. You could be a business owner, or you can, have something where you have a certification or like a trade and you could become like a contractor. It's not always about like a clock in, clock out type of situation. And financial literacy, teaching our kids how to invest. Once you know how to invest, you're college for what?
You want to know how bad the job market is right now? 2 videos came up on my For You page, bro. One white man who went to Yale and one black man who went to Yale. They both talking about, they applied to thousands of jobs and hear back from you went to Yale? No. So you went to Yale, bro, and you still ain't get a job? I thought that was the way, bro. I thought that as soon as Yale went to Yale, hired. You telling me they ain't getting a job? You telling me 3 times dropout is gonna get a job? And I know we applying to different markets for sure, but like, that's crazy. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I thought that maybe if I that I was white on the applications, that maybe, they would hire me because my name is Sade. That could be Sadie. I could be Sadie. Not no Sade. Maybe they don't know, but like, clearly that don't make no difference. Just busting my brain the fact this man went to Yale, bro. These men went to Yale. And it's not just them. I saw a pilot. He said he went to an interview and they was like, no, they want somebody from the island to work there. So why did they give him the interview if they wanted somebody native to the island to work there, bro? These are men, bro. Men aren't getting jobs. Oh, we might be fucked.
You guys want to hear something crazy? I'm literally in line at Starbucks to pick up my coffee because I have to head across town to get my drug test for my new job. And as I'm sitting in line, I'm checking my email, I'm checking my notifications. I got a TikTok copyright, but I also got an invite to do an article with Financial Times. That's wild. Like, they came across my TikTok apparently and reached out to me and said that they're doing articles on the current job market. They saw my content and they want to speak to me. I'm tripping out, waiting for my coffee to come out. What?
Everywhere is hiring. Gen Z is just lazy and they don't want to work. Thanks for coming into the 7th round interview. I do want to let you know that we did hire internally about 4 rounds ago. So why do you think you're qualified for this job? What does a master's degree in the field have to do with anything? So it says here you would like to be paid a little above minimum wage. We were more thinking about a kiss on the forehead every 2 weeks. So you would be working for a minimum of 80 hours a week. And if you ask about overtime pay, I'm gonna start crying. So honestly, this interview was perfect. However, you did not pledge your undying loyalty to the company. So we're gonna move on. You're actually overqualified. So, get out of here. What does vacations have to do with this? You're gonna be working? Vacation.
I applied to a job and I got a request for an interview, and I got it a couple days before today, and today was supposed to be the day that I was going to have an interview, and they canceled it, and I got a link saying to reschedule it, so I rescheduled it for the next available time, which was 4 p.m. today, and then I get another message saying that it was canceled and to reschedule it for another time, so I picked the next earliest time, which was tomorrow at 10:30. And I get an email from the person that I was supposed to be talking to, so like the hiring manager, the HR person, that, her bad, but the interview request was sent in an error, and if you have any questions to let me know. I misinterpreted that as in, that the phone screen was an error and that they wanted to see my face on camera. And I got ready and everything, and then was texting my friend who referred me to this position, and quickly realized that they meant to say that I was basically not being considered for the role and that they canceled this interview because like I wasn't being considered. How can you not realize that the person that you sent an interview request to isn't even being considered for days? I got this days before today, and I received that message saying that it was a mistake and that this was an error on their part. I don't understand why the job market is cruel and impersonable and just downright awful. It's been so hard to find a full-time position, and just in general, not even like in the field that I got my degree in, not even like in, the field that I chose for my path, right? But like anything. And I'm just kind of at a point where I don't know what to do anymore. Yeah. I never do things like this ever, but I feel like this needs to be talked about.
I'm going to say it because no one else will. I've seen online how everyone's saying that the job market in 2026 is going to be the most difficult. No one can get a job. And I was just saying how a lot of people who are especially my age, like I just graduated in May. Before my senior season of soccer, I was training all summer long, like on top of an internship, like on top of everything. Every single day in the summer, I had this insane Google Excel sheet, and it would just have like I would LinkedIn message people at least like 10 a day saying like, can I speak with you? Because I originally wanted to work in sports, and then I came to find out there's absolutely no money in sports unless you're the player, obviously. So aboard of that, but I learned because I literally would have this Excel sheet, and it would have literally hundreds of people I talked to. I would say 100 to be realistic. It would have the person's name, if they answered my LinkedIn message, because then I would send another one if they didn't answer. And honestly, all these people end up answering. And then it would just have everything organized. If I talked to the person, what they said, I scrolled through. The job I'm at right now, none of those people were even at that company, but it took that many people and that much to learn from. Also, all the time, like if you're applying to a job, you're not going to get it. You need to talk to someone within the company in order to go. That's just how it is. And everyone's like, oh, you have to know someone. It's not like, for example, for me, my parents are both in the medical field, and obviously I work in business. So that wasn't going to help me. And I didn't know anyone per se, because all their friends are also like in the medical world and my medical field. So I would just LinkedIn message all these people, and that's how you're going to build your network. But I think people right now are just too freaking lazy. Like, go on LinkedIn, message these people, have it organized in an Excel sheet, and then and if this way, like in a year or two, if you're like, oh, I do want to work in sports again, you can go back, find that person you talked to, be like, oh, I talked to you at this time. Like all these people, like I still keep in touch with, like it's good to have just in case, but that's how much it's going to take. And then that's also the only way you're going to get it. If you think you're going online to apply for a job and you're just going to get it by a literal application, I mean, if you have, like, congrats, but you're probably in the 1%. Also, with AI right now, everyone's resumes are spectacular. Like, if your resume is not good, that's probably on you. We literally have AI, can do the whole thing for you. So I think overall, I know that everyone's saying, like, oh, you need to know someone, this person knew that, their dad knew this person. No. Go on LinkedIn, message people who work there. These people are getting paid. If you get a job, they're getting paid to refer you. And then talk to them, see if they even like it, if you're going to like it, and go from there. But I think that right now people are just too lazy. They're going to apply online, like talk to someone. They're going to help you, like guide you. Like it's so rare. I've had so many people who are so nice, so friendly, and they're always just like, listen, only thing I ask is that you do the same. Like when you move up in life, like that you'll talk to someone who wants to talk. Also, you need to stop going on LinkedIn to just see what those people at your school are posting. Like I graduated from Richmond, went to Penn State, so I had a lot of people on there. Every time you would log on, especially from Richmond, these people are having jobs at the top companies, Goldman Sachs, Morgan. I mean, those are just like easy ones you're seeing every day. And then everyone gets stressed out. And you're seeing like, do not worry about what these people are doing because you don't know how they got it, what they're doing. Who cares? No one cares. Go on there to just network with other people. And like, you can go on a website, find people, like everyone's online, especially because we have AI right now. But there's my 2 cents.
I'm going to say something that I feel like not enough people are saying in this current job landscape. If you've been laid off, or if you feel like you're about to be laid off, congrats. And I mean that so wholeheartedly. And I'm not just trying to like blow smoke up your ass. I'm saying this as someone who's been laid off 3 times in a row. A severance three-peat, if you will. Once because of COVID and then twice for company reorgs. And this is what I know to be true. 1, it's not personal. It absolutely feels like it in the moment sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're just a number on a spreadsheet. To businesses and corporations, that is. Getting laid off has nothing to do with your value or how hard you work. Believe me, I've worked with some terrible people who managed to keep their jobs forever. There can be so much shame around losing your job and trying to figure out what to do, what comes next. So let me tell you this, every time I've been let go, I get happier, cooler, hotter, and more successful. So cheers to you.
January was the worst month for jobs since 2009. Worst January since 2009. Obviously, COVID had a couple worse months. That was the depths of the global financial crisis. Jerome Powell looks really bad here, and we were going into a hawkish Fed. That's not good. AI was cited for 8% of job cuts, 7-8%. Like, duh. Has anyone been around, does anyone go into the real economy and try to figure out how hard it is to get a job? Or are we listening to PhDs drive our economy? Is that what we're doing? PhDs and billionaires and elites? Oh, the job market's great. Okay, bud. Okay.
Pay money, they said. Go to school so you can get a better job, they said. I just got a call back for a position I applied for a phlebotomist because I just finished school for phlebotomy. So I'm talking to the man, and he's like, oh, well, do you have any experience? School? Oh, well, this position, you need at least 6 months experience. Bitch, how? I applied for this position to get some experience, and here we go.
I graduated from college exactly a year ago today with 0 job prospects between then and now. Let's talk about it. Last year, on May 13th, 2024, I graduated from Montclair State University with a BA in Communications and Media Studies. But even though I graduated in May, I started applying to real jobs that January. So I've been applying to jobs for much longer than I've been graduated, and still nada. I've been applying to jobs within PR, marketing, social media, advertising, just pretty much anything that seems like it would be within my wheelhouse, and I've gotten pretty far outside my initial comfort zone, and still nothing. What gives me a little bit of comfort is that this is happening to everybody right now. It's not like they're looking at me and saying no, but what's most likely happening is they're not looking at me at all. But with that being said, it really sucks that this is literally happening to everybody. A couple weeks ago, I was feeling really down in the dumps about it when I realized how close I was to a year from school, and I opened LinkedIn to try to apply to more jobs. And the first thing that I saw was someone saying it has officially been 3 years for me. And that was someone who was let go of a job, who already had experience. So it made me feel a little bit better, but also absolutely terrible. The market sucks, but I keep trying to add to my experience through social media, and I do pick up little freelance jobs, and I do what I can to give myself more information. I try to learn as much as I can, but still everyone says that I need more experience. But how do I get that experience? What really sucks is I'm applying to jobs where I have experience. I'm applying to jobs within social media where I have so much to show of what I can do, and they're still telling me I don't have enough experience. And what's even worse than that is I've had multiple internships throughout college that I feel like really gave me good experiences. I've worked at Hero Cosmetics, I've worked at big businesses, small businesses. I've tried a little bit of everything. I've tried behind the scenes, on camera. I've done as much as I can, but they don't see it as experience because it's an internship, so they assume that I didn't do anything. But let me tell you, I am so excited to start working. I am actually so passionate about what I do and the things that I can do and the things that I can create and just help make, but no one's giving me that opportunity. So I know that I would be a good worker. I am very confident in my abilities. I'm a quick learner. I do well under pressure. I want to do the hard jobs. I want to do what people are literally asking for in the job descriptions, but there's nothing I can do because they won't let me in, which is All I can say is that at some point someone will actually pick up my resume and say, oh, sure, why not? And that'll be my in. But until then, just gotta keep hustling. Hope it doesn't happen for so much longer because I do live with my parents and I am going a little bit crazy. So, if there are any recruiters on here for anything fun or even anything boring, just like, you can reach out to me. Like, my LinkedIn is in the link in my bio if you want to check that out. But also, let's create a cute little network of like marketing girlies and just like girlies in general. Oh, that'd be so cute.
There's some majors that you can take in college where it's like, what are you gonna do when you graduate? Like, how are you gonna make money? How are you gonna like, feed your kids, bro? Like liberal math or like Shakespearean studies. To me, it sounds like you just wasted like $75K and now you're in debt with like no job.
I saw this video today saying that the unemployment claims unexpectedly rose last week to 231,000, and I chuckled a little bit because who in the world thinks that that's unexpected? I've been creating career content on here for 3 or 4 years, and when I first started creating career content, there were careers, there were jobs. And then last year I was like, hey guys, it's feeling like there's no jobs. And like all the career coaches and people who get paid to tell you that there are jobs because they want your money were like, no, you're wrong, you're being negative. I would post on LinkedIn all the time. I haven't posted on LinkedIn in like probably like 6 months because there's genuinely just nothing I can share on there anymore. And every time I do share something, I sound really negative and I sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not. I can see this pattern that's happening, and there's no way you think there are jobs out there. This 231,000 of unemployment claims does not even count like the 100,000 jobs that were just cut in January, because a lot of those people from the companies like UPS, Amazon, some of those people still haven't even been laid off. And even if they are laid off, they have a severance, so that means they're still not putting in unemployment claims. Is the term unexpectedly to use that when we've been talking about these layoffs since like 2023, and then they kept happening in 2024, and then they still kept happening in 2025, and here we are in the beginning of 2026 and there are already 100,000 jobs, people laid off. It's not unexpected. This is literally planned. Like, this is what they planned on this. So you're telling me that the same companies who've been doing layoffs, like Amazon was one of the companies that announced thousands of layoffs in January, y'all been doing layoffs since 2023 and you still haven't learned how to like hire correctly? Before it was that y'all overhired. That y'all aren't overhiring anymore. So what is it? Because I know y'all are still making money.
It's been 2 months since I've been laid off. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. I've got this freelance gig to keep me busy, making my own content, doing some UGC. I haven't checked my LinkedIn messages, but I know there's a bunch of emails I need to get back to from recruiters on some jobs. But honestly, the thought of looking through those emails and looking at these job postings and thinking about doing technical interviews for a software developer position is giving me major anxiety. So I think that is a sign saying that I should not go back to being a full-time software developer. I don't know. I just go back and forth about it because it's this stable income. But you know, I'm going to go work at another company where I'm going to be disposable again, and then they're just going to fire me because they did another restructuring. So, time to go build my own empire.
Yeah, was goody. Today I got fired and I didn't use. Today I got fired and I still cooked. Today I got fired and I still filmed content. Today I got fired and I still shared resources. Today I got fired and decided to do my makeup and my eyebrows. And today I got fired and I'm still clean and sober and serene. No matter what we go through, as long as we keep pushing, that's what matters. I hope this message reaches someone who might be going through something similar, that the devil means to harm you or halt your step, but you keep going. God wants me to focus on content and helping people. God wants me to focus on getting closer to him and this bag. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for letting me share.